Show. We have in the studio today one of my absolute, when I tell you, one of my favorite people walking. I don't care who it is. This man, many years ago, I was introduced to Tony Fitzpatrick from my mentor, the great Michael War. And I knew about Tony Fitzpatrick because he was an actor and he would be on Steve Dahl's show every now and then, Stephen Gary. And I'm like, man, one day I'm going to meet that guy. And it happened. And I have
What a disappointment it was.
I have learned more from having the access to Tony Fitzpatrick and his great art and his amazing poetry and just how he is the quintessential human being, one of my favorite people. Tony Fitzpatrick in studio today.
Well, thank you so
on the
much,
show.
man.
What's up, man?
It's a pleasure to be here. I've not.
You haven't been in here. I had you on the show. I think we did it on Zoom last time.
Yeah, we did like a phoner during during the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
during the pandemic. And we talked about these stupid White Sox that we're going to talk about
man.
later.
Oh, God. Did you hear about the guy they sent down, Brandon something? He was hitting 400.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they are a very unique group of people.
No kidding.
They are.
I mean, I look at Robert Jr. and I'm thinking, there he is, walking trade bait. You know damn well they're going to trade him.
They have to. Well, I hope they don't, but they almost have to.
Mario,
what are they going to do?
They're way under their salary cap.
Man. I know.
They're way under. I mean,
they won't get anybody.
The only bright spot is the pitching looks better than it did last year.
Yeah.
Which it was, you lose 121 games. There's only one way to go,
What is it about Chairman Reinsdorf that won't allow him to let this go? Let the guy that just bought all the shares up from everybody run it. Why won't he sell his team?
I can tell you what it is. It's the corrosive property of power. And as long as Chairman Reinsdorf has the Bulls and the White Sox, it also gives him a great deal of leverage with the city and the city's coffers, which is broke right now. They got a pension plan to figure out. They've got a myriad of issues. And I will, when they were thinking about, should we bankroll the Bears Stadium in Arlington Heights? BS. Let them move.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Let them go. Let them go.
Not one dime of public money.
No, for nothing. There's no reason to when they could buy it themselves.
Precisely.
There's no reason to. And with that in mind, you're a Bridgeporter. How do you feel about the fact that the chairman and the Wirtz family are totally going to change the way the west side of Chicago looks around the United Center, but haven't done a thing in this neighborhood?
I'm actually Wicker Parker now, but
I'm sorry.
my father's deep roots in the South Side of Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I grew up, bleeding White Sox black and white. I think I think not only this neighborhood, but you look at Auburn Gresham, you look Lawndale. I mean, all of the monies that were available, and this is what I took issue with Mayor Lightfoot, who I personally adore.
Mm-hmm.
The money that went to the cops. I mean, you could have started so many economic incubators on the south and west sides.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of food deserts. I mean, it sounds funny to people like us who live in neighborhoods with decent restaurants and good grocery stores, but you get down to Auburn Gresham, you get down to Deering, the very far south side.
Mm-hmm.
There is a problem with access to adequate nutrition. I mean, you do have people suffering from malnutrition in the city of Chicago.
Easily, yes.
And with our, huge influx of migrants, we're gonna see in the coming couple of years an uptick and a spike in hunger. I mean, people starving to death standing outside the grocery store. This is the only republic on the planet where that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of Trumpism right now. That's a whole other.
That's a 2-hour show.
Absolutely,
by
man.
itself.
Absolutely.
But I am going to ask you though. I mean, you see what's going on. You're one of the you're one of the more in tune cats that live in the city, and you don't say as much as you probably could. But when you speak, it's volumic. How do you feel about all of this?
I feel like all of those who stayed home and didn't vote. I mean, I went to Haiti in 1987, and they had just thrown Baby Doc out of the country, and I met people who have since died for the right to vote, for the right to cast a vote. I honestly think we do not have the luxury of not having politics, and that's what gave us. That's what gave us Trump Part 2, I'm particularly upset with Gen Z and millennials, and they threw up their hands, Sleepy Joe, and could not get behind Kamala. I mean, Kamala, ran as good of a campaign as she could. She had less than 2 months.
Yeah, like 7 weeks or something.
I mean, but the Democrats should have grown a pair.
Yeah,
and asked Joe long before they even entertained the idea of running him again. Mr. President, step down, for the good of your country. It was easy to see Trump coming, and the same people elected him.
Yeah.
White women between the ages of 30 and 75 who went out and voted, they had voting parties evidently. But, the thing is that he is going to injure economically the people who voted for him the worst.
Yeah. That's wild to me that those folks voted for him, and those are the ones that are going to really feel it the most.
Well, a friend of mine just told me that the United Auto Workers came out in favor of Trump's tariffs on cars,
That's crazy.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, the UAW, the union that Coleman Young helped found.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all. I mean, because eventually this is going to hurt them.
Are you in the mindset that
I'm pissed at my fellow unions, man.
Yeah, I am as well.
My Teamsters, my brother Teamsters. I'm angry at them. I mean, for them to get on Trump.
Well, with that in mind, are you of the mindset that this is more? It's a lot of show and a lot of dog and pony and all kinds of other things to distract from the whole idea of the grift.
Well, they're picking our pockets, exactly.
Yeah. How is it that no one will acknowledge that?
You know what? People have, and I understand why, kind of ignored this moron Steve Bannon. But you know what? He did some podcast where he said, well, what their strategy is muzzle velocity. Put out 9 or 10 different egregious things every day, happening so fast and all at once that they don't, my friend Penn Jillette, who's in town to do some shows.
Oh, nice.
He goes, you wave your right hand around and, with your left hand, you can take their underwear off if you want because they're just fascinated by it. It's a question of political misdirection,
Wow.
And they've been doing it since Ronald Reagan, I think of 1980 as the year that American compassion died. They started using very polite terms for people who didn't have an address. Oh, they're homeless. But you know what? Mario created a more vast cultural chasm between have and have not.
Yeah.
And, greed is good. And that whole cultural zeitgeist picked up a head of steam that people are, sickly nostalgic for. I mean, the only good thing about the pandemic is it did foster this idea of community. Like we have to help each other. I mean, when you saw my daughter was living in New York and working for Italy at the time, and when you saw the rolling morgues out on the streets of New York, when you saw I'd been in the hospital. I had, 10 years ago, I had a quadruple bypass.
Right.
And since then, there was a litany of problems that come once you've been a heart patient. Like next Monday, I have to go and have an ablation. I was there during the pandemic. I'd had a case of sepsis. And the good people at Rush, saved me. They're the most remarkable doctors on the planet. There and St. Mary's and St. Elizabeth. Just incredible people whom I owe my life to. And I remember coming out, and on the 8th floor, there's a big glass partition, and there were gurneys, 7 of them, with body bags on them. This was during the pandemic. And unless you're seeing it, you don't realize, I don't think, the gravity of it. And at the same time, you realize that Trump was fighting Dr. Fauci.
Every day.
Exactly. And just being an out-and-out idiot.
Yeah.
We'll shoot bleach into him,
I forgot about the bleach.
Yeah, I mean, it mirrored for me kind of Reagan's reaction to the AIDS crisis.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so, because Ronald Reagan was like, I don't know what you guys want me to do. He wouldn't even say AIDS. That's right, I remember that.
Exactly. You know what? I had a very dear friend, a guy when I first got clean, when I first quit alcohol and drugs, there was a guy, Charlie, who died of AIDS before they were even calling it AIDS. They were still calling it GRID. They were still calling it gay-related immune disorder. And this guy, I watched this guy shepherd more people into recovery, from addiction. And, for me, the guy was like a saint, you know. And I think of, Reagan just looking the other way with that idiotic, senile, grandfatherly look on his face.
Yeah.
And I think, when I think of his wake and the big gooey send-off that he got, I really wanted to stop that hearse, flip open that coffin, and drive a stake through his heart. I just think he was the most awful cretin that ever walked.
A lot of the reason why we're where we are is because of that era.
And you know what? The long math of it gave us Trump.
Yeah, man. And God only knows what that's going to beget in the future. It's WLPNOP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumping Radio News from the Service Entrance, the radio show with the great Tony Fitzpatrick. Are you still acting?
Yeah.
What do you got coming up?
My friend Paul Ray, who I was in Patriot with, is got something cooking for Los Angeles. And it's he hasn't told me a lot about it other than I am going to be able to use bludgeoning.
Oh, wow.
Look
at you. That's fancy.
The Jack Birdbath preferred way of dispatching people.
That's fancy.
And my son and my daughter are producing a short film.
Sweet.
And my son said, well, I have a part for you. They know that Dad works cheap, And my son Max is in a movie that was shot right around here.
Oh yeah, I saw
yeah,
him
an
in
indie called Be Funny.
Yeah,
and I have like 2 or 3 days on that. And
nice.
The thing was, my son went through that whole program at Second City in addition to going to Columbia, and he's got all of those improv skills, which. I other than responding when doing poetry readings and stuff like that, I'd never really been practiced at that. So every scene I did with them, when they were filming it, I told them afterwards, I said, I feel like I'm about a half a beat behind you. I feel like I'm not. He goes, you're just feeling that way. He goes, because I'm kind of doing one thing, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right, right.
And he said, look, when you see the dailies, you'll realize you're fine. You did a great job. And I play his father,
Okay, well, that's a role you're familiar with.
Yeah, exactly. And for the last night of shooting, he said, Dad, you just got to show up at the Den Theater. Please wear one of your god-awful Hawaiian shirts. And your little gangster hat, your little Norman
pork
Lear
pie
hat, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know what was going to happen, and I went in there, and it's kind of the finale of the thing, And my son gets up there to do his stand-up act. And he's killing. He's crushing it. And it's like he forbid me to ever go and see any of them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And he said, well, that guy over there is in the Jimmy Buffett Witness Protection program. That's my father. The guy in the little gangster hat. Now, don't stand too close to him for any length of time, or he'll tip you. You know.
He knows you
And
very well.
yeah, I mean, I'm real proud of both of them. Both Max and Gabby are writing and generating their own
I
material.
remember when they were little.
I know.
That's
I know.
wild.
It's,
That is wild.
Yeah, and my wife is like, yeah, this is what you get for letting them just watch any movie they want to. You know,
you did
It's like,
this.
yeah, it's like this is on you. It's like you've dragged your children into this awful business.
Man.
I have a thing in L.A. to do, and then something here that's in the offing. That's an independent thing, a crime thing.
I think for me, I know you coming in. My introduction rather to you was being a poet.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the guy I saw in a movie when I was a little kid. I know him. And then I go, wait a minute. That's okay. Yeah. It makes sense. But poetry, I didn't
He'll
know
do
that.
anything to avoid honest work.
And then I'm like, wait a minute. He's also a visual artist. I'm like, hold on.
I'll do anything to avoid honest work, Mario. You know.
It is just amazing. I think we tend to pigeonhole ourselves into one kind of art or one kind of thing, but you do it all, man.
Well, the thing is my favorite artists in a way are like that. You know, my friend Penn Jillette, he's a marvelous magician. He's a marvelous writer, a terrific, sublimely gifted actor. My friend, the great former poet laureate of the United States, my mentor, Ted Kooser, brilliant watercolorist and poet, and was poet laureate of the United States, won the Pulitzer Prize, and this man survived cancer 3 times.
Wow.
I met him through my castmate on Patriot, Deborah Winger.
Yeah. Who
lived in Nebraska for quite a while, and she saw that I had a collection. And she said, "You guys should meet." And I got sober again nearly 3 years ago, and there came with it in the first 5 or 6 months. There's a little bit of depression and a kind of darkness, you know, and. I wrote him him and his wife had put out a volume that they curated and they edited poems about birds, you know. So I had this beautiful Nelson sparrow that I made, and they're very common in Kansas. So I sent it to him, and he wrote me back a 3-page letter, and we've been writing each other back and forth since then.
Yeah.
And every morning I send him, you know, what I'm up to, and he's 87, and this guy still pulls stumps out of his. He's got some land, you know, and he was he's from Ames, Iowa originally. He's been a man of the plains, you know, since forever, and I've learned a lot from him. He's one of those guys. My next collection's called "The Sun at the End of the Road." It'll be out in October, and it's a collection of poems. It's called "The Sun at the End of the Road: Dispatches from an American Life." And,
I was definitely going to ask if you had something coming up, book-wise and stuff.
And I'm going to perform it. It's going to be a show. We're talking to Steppenwolf. I did a bunch of shows there years ago. I haven't done one in 10 years, so.
I did see something that you did, though, that was moving, and it moved me.
Oh, Lynn Bramer?
The Lynn Bramer thing at the Hideout, man, with you and John Langford. That was a great night, and he was such. Before I let you go, because I can't let you go without talking about Lynn Bramer.
Absolutely.
When I would go down and visit my friends at the Score, he would always be down there just hanging around.
Were you buddies with Bernstein, who just
absolutely
bounced?
Yeah. That's a whole nother show too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's Danny's a good friend of mine. But he would come down, and every time he'd come down those steps and he saw me, he acted like he had known me forever.
Absolutely. That
Gave
was
me this
Lynn.
big hug. He goes, "How you doing, buddy?" I'm like, "Man,
Even with your Sox hat on?
even with the White Sox hat on,
Yeah.
he still gave me a hug, and it would mess my head up because this is what I do, what I really
Yeah.
love doing, and he's one of the people I used to listen to. For him to just act like, man, hey,
Absolutely.
And
Hey, you're a brother in sound, man.
man,
You
so
know, I mean,
he was big on that, and he was such a
Absolutely.
cool guy. And
I
that,
did radio for 10 years with
Oh,
the Loop. you
yeah,
know,
I
and,
remember. I remember.
I have a huge respect for people who do radio. I still love Steve. I still love Gary, Buzz.
Yeah.
I mean, his daughter is my goddaughter.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
That's how I was introduced to
yeah.
you originally, though, from the Stephen Gary show.
Have you fallen into that thing yet early in the morning where you listen to news radio yet?
All day, every morning.
Yeah, the old man thing. I've
gotten to the point I can't listen to it on the FM. I have to listen to it on the
on the
AM.
AM. Yeah.
I'm
I
old. I'm an
I
old.
listen to BBM.
Yes,
You know?
me too. Every morning, I even when the weather is wrong, and it's wrong 90% of the
Yeah,
time
absolutely.
on WBBM, I
Absolutely.
listen. That's the first thing I listen to in the morning.
They said, "Oh, it's going to be 60 degrees." I go out and it's like 37.
Exactly.
It's like and I'm freezing my ass off.
Exactly. Hey, you before I cut you loose, and thank you so much, man.
Oh God, happy to, man.
It always-
we got to actually go to a game.
That's what I was getting.
Now let's wait until they actually start winning one or two.
Listen, I know, like you know, that this is going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
But it won't be as bad as it was last year.
well, that's the cockeyed optimist.
You
Take
said
on
when,
it.
when I saw you a few minutes ago when you walked in, you go, "We have." Wait a minute, we have the hat of what again? What did you say this was?
Oh, we have the karmic kick me hat. Yeah. There's I feel like walking in and going, yeah, here I am at Sox Park. Where's the grape? Where's the grape Kool-Aid?
Right, just give it to me now. Hit me.
Let's
in the
have
head.
some grape Kool-Aid and a few laughs. The one thing I do want to mention
Yes, sir.
is there are some great shows up in Chicago right now for artists.
Please, yes.
Valaria Terrazos Ramirez has a show at VSG Gallery on Milwaukee Avenue of dogs, and they're phenomenal. It's an amazing exhibition. How much longer is it up for? April 5th.
Yeah.
And there's a marvelous young woman named Mackenzie Baker. It's a show of ceramic sculpture up at Compound W.
Yes.
Compound Yellow Gallery in Oak Park.
Compound W. See, that's I immediately said yes.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. That's how old
You
and
know,
I
it could
are,
have been
sir.
worse. I could have said Preparation H.
Or absorbing
Yeah,
junior.
Exactly.
Hey man, you are the best. I am so glad this happened. I'm sorry that we couldn't do the original plan, but I'm glad that you came down here and hung out with me.
Oh God, don't worry about it, man. Thanks for having me. It's great to reconnect and keep it up, man. This
I'm
is,
trying, Tony. You know,
This is one of those bastions of sanity on the radio dial, and believe me, we need all of them that we can get.
You know, I am. I appreciate that. If I get my way, this year will be 25 years of me doing this show.
Holy cow!
And if I get my way, I'm having a big 25th anniversary party. You're absolutely invited because I was told to bring.
You got to do it.
So you told me to bring all the heavy hitter guests that I've ever had on the show.
Well, and
so
tell
you're
Ed
in.
to bring some of that good chow down here.
Yes, I will tell him. I'm sure he's
How
probably
is my
listening.
man? How's he doing?
Edmar is doing wonderful.
Good.
He is keeping the ship afloat along with Jamie Trecker and everybody else around.
Yeah.
it. Stephanie Manriquez is
well, you
brilliant.
guys have built a marvelous cultural oasis down here.
Hey, I'm telling you, man.
And 20 years ago, people would have told you that was not possible
Exactly.
in Bridgeport.
Just
You
had
know
a
what I mean?
conversation with Tony Lewis Johnson,
Yeah.
and we were talking about her book "Don't Go," the neighborhoods in Chicago that people tell you don't go to, and
Yeah, exactly.
this was one of them. When I started here, it was like I don't know if I want to do a show in
People
Bridgeport.
would tell you that about Bronzeville.
That
you
same
know, and
thing,
now
yes.
It's like Restaurant Row.
Yeah, it
you
is.
know, I mean,
yeah, it is.
Eric and all those guys. You know, I mean, they've built a culinary, a culinary elite group of restaurants.
Yeah. You take care of yourself.
You
hear
too,
me?
pal.
You need me.
Absolutely. You're the first guy I'll call.
Please,
You know?
well, don't make me the first guy, because that would be a bad phone call. Tony Fitzpatrick, you are the best, man. Thank you so much.
Mario, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yes, you will. Wow, Tony Fitzpatrick. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is WLPNLP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpin Radio. It's news from the service entrance, the radio show.